And I know you may be somewhere else where you're going, it's like minus something here, coach. What are you talking about? But, the Florida humidity mixed with some cold weather, it's crisp this morning for sure. But I'm wide awake and ready to rock and roll this morning. When I get in the studio in about 15 minutes from now, we are going to discover what now? Or what now? Or what now? What now? Depends, that all depends on the connotation you attach to that. What now? We're hearing all kinds of rumors of what's going on in the world and their country and this, that, and the other. And I just ask you a question before we head into the studio and really get live this morning and get down and dirty with the training. What now? Who's responsible for your what now? Are you responsible for it? Is the government responsible for it? Is your neighbor responsible for it? Is it, the person in traffic that cut you off? Do they determine your what now? Does, a law determine it? This, that, the other? What determines what now? And we're going to discover that this morning. And that's the cool part of it, because there are still things, a lot of times people are like, why, this is outside of my control. 2020's events were outside of my control. COVID's outside of my control. You're right, you cannot always control the events, but you certainly can control what things mean to you, how you process them, what you do with them, and what you do moving forward. Because I think we've all seen very major in the world over history of two people that have faced the same challenges different determination than maybe somebody else who took their challenges and made them into something great, turned it into a learning experience, busted through fear. That's the difference. Are you going to be Joe Blow, or are you going to be somebody that goes, history doesn't mean you're taught necessarily in school or in a history book, but you go down in the history of your community, the hearts of the people that you touch. Maybe you create something that lasts long beyond yourself and touches lives. I don't know what that is for you, but we're going to discover some stuff this morning that should help you get past fear and figure out, now what? What is really your next step? What is really your destiny? And I will guarantee you one thing it is not: to stay in neutral, to sit there and watch and see what happens. The river for a good portion of my life. If you jumped in the Niagara River and tried to swim over to Canada, and you went over there and you got in that river and that current, doesn't seem like much by the beginning of the lake, where it first begins. But as you get near those falls, all of a sudden you're accelerating, and by the time you realize how close you are to the falls, it's too late. This is what I want to help you stop in your life. Don't sit there and go with the tide and the flow. Nothing worse, nothing that, I'd rather somebody says, what, I just don't want to, or I'm not going to do something, and go, well, I'm going to go with the flow. That's the same thing. You're not going to get anywhere going with the flow. You're going to go over a waterfall somewhere and splatter in somebody else's current for you. So going with the flow is just as bad as doing flow is a way to not take any responsibility. What I want you to do is go against that. Oh yeah. But if you jump on a motorboat or a jet ski, you can make it. So what I want to teach you this morning is how to jet ski my butt situated out of this car and into the studio. Tune in live in just a few minutes. XLR8life.com/LCTV or revitalizelife.com.